Okay, starting again. I actually had one run of the potty, so he's not back yet, but we'll go ahead and start. So we stay on schedule here. Okay, so when we talk about vocabulary, there's lots of words that we learn in Junie B. Jones that maybe we haven't heard before. And one of them that she says is professional. Have you ever heard that word before?
Yes.
Do you know what that word means? Oh, very good. Okay, you're very good at like an expert. Something you do for, like your mom or dad might do it for yeah, like for a job. And that's someone that's a professional. Very good, Lucas. I'm so impressed that you knew that. What about, what does the word protect mean? Wonderful. It means to keep something safe. That's right. So when your mommy and daddy are trying to protect you, they're trying to keep you safe. That's right. And then what is a problem?
A problem is when you have something, when you're in a fight or something that other people want.
Okay. Something goes wrong. Yeah, like that would be a good example. If you were in a fight with someone, that would definitely be a problem, for sure. Those are good examples. Thank you. So those are a few of our words that we heard in the book. They all happen to start with the P. That's funny, isn't it? They all started with the same letter, but it's sometimes hard if you hear a word and you think, I kind of know what that means, but not real well. So when that happens, you can always stop me and ask. What does that mean, Miss Jen?
Well, I didn't want to know all of them, but then I did.
Yeah, sometimes it just takes time and then you think. If I hear the words around it, sometimes I can figure it out. If I see a picture with it, sometimes I can figure it out. All right, that's true. I'm going to have you sit for 1 second while I just check on our friends in the bathroom real quick. Okay. All right. So I kind of already introduced this when we were starting to talk about stuff yesterday with kind of wrapping it up. But a long vowel is a vowel that says its own name. So if you hear a word and it says O in it, do you think that would be a long vowel?
Yes.
Did you just hear O say its own name?
Yes.
Yes. What would it be if it had an A in it? What would it sound like? What would you hear in the middle of the word somewhere? You hear A, wouldn't you? Because it's going to say its own name, right? So I'm going to put some words on the board. Let me think. What would, your tummy really hurt? Okay, we'll be done just real soon, okay? What would a long E sound like? Okay, so name E, that's right. So long E says E. Okay. So when we see this word, does anybody recognize what that word is? B. Well, what is that? A short E or a long E? What kind of E is that? Long, right? They're going like this because it's a long E. Because we just heard it say its own name, didn't we? Okay. So let me think. What about this word? Can you figure out what that would be? Nathan? Tape. Right, tape. Wonderful. What's the long vowel you hear in there?
A.
Long A. So we're going to underline that long E we heard, and we heard a long A. Tape. We heard, we didn't know that's a long A because we heard the letter A in it, right? It said its own name. Okay, what about this word? Lucas, I want you to try this one, okay? Okay, what does C usually say? It can say two things. Okay, usually, a lot of times we see it say
Oh.
Oh, what's this letter?
Cone.
Cone. What's your long vowel in that word? I want Lucas to help me with this one.
It's the O.
Wonderful. Okay. Now I'm going to pause this since our good friend is back. There's one thing I wanted to do on vocabulary, but he wasn't with us when we were finishing it. But I want you to do this real quick. I want you to tell him what some of the vocabulary words were and what they meant, and then him tell you what he thinks they mean. Do you remember what they were? Why don't you tell him about problems?
A problem.
Why don't you tell him what? You could ask him what he thinks it means too. Like that. You want to ask him what he thinks? You guys talk about it for just a minute. I don't know if there's any way to see them better. Okay. Might be a little bit better. Okay. All right, guys. Back over here, please. Okay, back over here. Look at me, please. I've got silly boys. They're fun. Okay, so we saw some words that we thought, oh, cone. I heard the oh, cone. Nathan. Cone. Oh, I hear that long O because I hear O saying its own name. Cone. Okay, you hear that? What about this word? See if you hear a letter that says its own name. Nathan, I want you to try on this one, okay? Okay, try and sound that word out for me, will you?
Yeah.
Okay, but what does the first letter say again?
B.
Well, that was a B and it's a B, so what would a word be?
B.
You got it. Yeah. The word D, it would be dike, but because it's a B, it's
B.
bike, right?
Bike.
Does anybody here like to ride a bike?
Yeah.
Really?
I'm trying to ride it without
Without training wheels, you guys are on it.
I don't know how.
Does anyone see a letter that said its own name in there? Bike. Lucas. Well, it says its own name, the vowel. It says its own name. So I'm going to underline it because that means we heard a long vowel there, didn't we? Okay, now I got another one. What's the word? It's kind of a hard word. It's an animal. Does anybody want to try and sound it out? Mm-hmm. Do you want to try and sound it out? Nathan? Mm-hmm. No, thank you? Okay. M. Lucas? Okay. A. You finish it. You got it. You just got to put them all together now. Mule. You have it. That's wonderful. And I'm wondering, I'm thinking, did I hear a vowel say its own name in that word? Nathan, did you? Mule. A vowel that says its own name. Remember our vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, and sometimes Y. Lucas? Mule. Do you hear it? The mule. Did you hear the U say its own name? You can't. Let's try it together. Mule. Why don't you two look at each other and say it together? Mule. Oh, did you hear it this time, Nathan? Mule. And I apologize that our board has stains on it, but the part we get to use is just fine, isn't it? So, but it's nice that we get to borrow this room, isn't it? That the church lets us do that. That's so nice.
But why does it have stains?
Well, that just sometimes happens. Sometimes happens if they get written on too much, then they don't come up anymore. Okay, so one more word for you. This is kind of a different word because actually there's two vowels in it. But one of them we hear real long. And actually phonogram that we haven't reviewed yet. Does anybody know what that word is?
What?
Like an ocean, right? Like a body of water.
I see.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and there are phonograms that we have done so many this summer, but we haven't been able to really study all of them. Just kind of reviewed all of them, but we haven't gotten to just study all of them, and that's one that
I
you
knew
see.
that one.
It makes the long E sound, doesn't it?
I knew that one when I was like
Yep.
3.
Do you remember it from kindergarten, probably? Okay, wonderful.
Mom actually learned it to me when I was
Younger than your mom practiced with you. And that means a lot to me. Did you guys practice with your mommies and daddies some of the stuff we've learned?
I read it kind of.
You read to them?
I read it all.
Did they like it that you read?
Yeah.
Did you show them how you've been breaking apart your words?
Yeah. I just little. Well.
I love that. That makes me so happy.
And when I was not doing good, I was trying.
You just keep trying. That's all you can do.
So I kind of forget sometimes. Yeah.
You know, sometimes I forget things that I know too, and I just have to practice them a lot, and then they get easier and easier. If you only practice every once in a very long while, will you remember it? But if you practice every day, will you? Yeah. That's how it is with everything in life, even for us grown-ups. We're the same way. We have to practice things. Did you know that? Even us grown-ups, we have to practice.
You have to practice like
I mean, we just have to.
you don't know how to read.
I know how to read, but I still read every day because it just helps me get faster and better at it, and it helps me understand things better the more I read. It's a good habit to read. But everything we do, we're teaching ourselves to do better and better the more we do it, right? Okay, you guys have been so good on these long vowels. So a long vowel is a vowel that says its own name. Nathan, are you with me? A long vowel is a vowel that says its own name. Okay. So if you hear A, E, I, O, or U in the vowel, then you probably have, or in the word, then you probably have a long vowel. What? I'm gonna have you guys come with me over here. I think I need to move this. I'm trying to see where. Okay. But I want to make sure that you guys can see. Okay, come on over here. I brought my computer. Nathan, come on over here. Okay, you guys are gonna look at this. We're not doing that though. We're gonna be kind to our friend. This is a really neat thing about long vowels, and just gives you some more examples. Some bright colors. Okay. You hear it? Child. You hear the I. Yes, I'm about with them. Right. Good job, guys. Good job. Great job. Clap for yourselves. Give a round of applause. Woo! Very good. Give each other a high five. All right, you can go back to your seats. Does anyone have any questions about long vowels? Those long vowels. Go on ahead to your seats. Do either, Nathan, go to your seat, please. Do either of you have any questions about your long vowels? Have a seat. Okay, yes, Lucas.
Why do they have to say their own name?
Well, that's not, and now a vowel doesn't always say its own name, does it? Remember the word you just put up there? He said puppy. He was doing a different example at that time, wasn't he? But he said puppy, and I didn't hear the letter U in it, but I saw you. Did you hear U?
Yeah, I saw you.
Okay, let me see. Let's see here. This has a U. But what does the U say in this?
Yeah.
Well, it says Because U oftentimes says doesn't it? Does it still have a U in it?
Yeah.
Even though you didn't hear the letter U in it? But when we did mule, there's our U. But instead of saying it said U. So that made this one the long U. It doesn't mean every vowel is a long U, does it? No, but sometimes they are right. Vowels, remember when we talked that a few times, how vowels can say different things, right? But we know that when they say their own name, then it's a long vowel, okay? So like when we said the word B, we hear E. We hear a long vowel. What if I put a T on the end and made it bet? 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 Now is it a long vowel? I added one letter and all of a sudden it's not a long E anymore. Now it says et instead. Does it say its own name when it says bet? I don't hear E, do you? But do you hear it when you see this one? E. E. I heard it right at the end. The long E, okay? So this has an E, but it's not a long E. This has an E, and it is a long E. And today we're only really talking about the long vowels. Okay? So we're looking for those and trying to hear them. So I did not. I know occasionally we do that, but not today. Okay? I know you guys like snacks, so you're starving because you guys are growing so fast. You're hungry. I'm sorry. Well, we don't have a whole lot longer. Does anybody else have any other questions? Nathan, do you have any other questions? Lucas have another question?
No.
It can be about anything. It can be about Junior B. Jones. It can be about a vocabulary. About your parents? Well, it kind of has to be about this. Armies? No. Yeah, I mean, but not right now. But you could ask me that another time. Okay, but today, just the things we've talked about today, does anyone have any other questions or anything they're thinking about? No? Okay. So if I said,
I think it's an E for
what word? I want you to tell me, do you hear a long vowel in this word? And I want to see if you guys can sound it out for me. Lucas, come on back up. If you think you can sound this out, raise your hand. Nathan.
time.
Time. Do you hear a long vowel? Do you hear a long vowel in there or not?
Yes.
What do you hear? Oh my goodness, did it say its own name?
Yes.
So it's a long vowel. Woo-hoo! What about this word? Nathan?
Dad.
Okay, we've been getting confused on the B's and the D's. Which one is this? Lucas?
Bat.
Bat. Is that a long vowel?
Yes.
Is that a long vowel?
No.
Why not?
Because the A doesn't say so. And there's no E, it makes the A.
There's no long vowel there, is there? It just says a. It doesn't say a, does it? Okay, what about this word? a word little boys would like. Okay, this is going to be a fun one to sound out. Okay, sound it out for me. Nathan? Slime. Do you hear a long vowel in there?
Yeah.
Okay, Lucas, put your shirt back on. What's the long vowel you hear? Raise your hand if you know. Raise your hand if you know, Nathan. Raise your hand if you know, Lucas. Okay, we're going to say it together. I. Okay, I'm waiting to see if you're doing that. Okay, wonderful. You guys are hearing them. You just have to listen to the word and say, did a letter just say, a vowel just say its own name in there?
Yes,
If it did, then I think I've got a long vowel. Now, I bet you could get your mommies and daddies to say a lot of words for you, and you could see if you heard long vowels in there. Yes. When we're all done, yeah, we'll be done before too long here. Okay, we have just a little bit more to do, and I have to do this in 3 segments so I can get it to upload. So let me come over here.
Hello.
We're going to do our second installment here.